Hi, I'm Commissioner Nancy Jester, and welcome to Nancy Jester Reports for Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019. Today we had your Board of Commissioners meeting, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that and a few other things. We also had a meeting on the 15th, a committee of the whole that we held outside of Decatur. It's one of those quarterly meetings we do at night so that we can be out in the community. We held our meeting at the Board of Education headquarters in Stone Mountain, so thank you to them for their hospitality. Earlier in that day, on the 15th, we also had a joint Board of Commissioners Board of Ed meeting. This is the second joint meeting that we've had, and this was our agenda. It was another productive and useful meeting. I think that these dialogues, these governmental dialogues, are really going to be helpful for planning purposes and coordination, because obviously where the school district builds schools, how school safety, all kinds of issues, frame issues that we have in the county, and how can we be operating together so that the taxpayers and the children and the parents are all getting the best product that they can with regard to the school system. So I think we're going to have some good things come out of that discussion. We're talking about some joint use agreements where we do some pilot programs with rec centers, and also how we can share facility space and how we can share recreational space. So a lot of good dialogues going on there. We're talking about project prioritization and being involved in the front side of any planning issues that they have with the school district when they're planning for SPLOST and any facility improvements, how we can be involved at the county level so that we can optimize what we're doing. Talked about all kinds of other partnership areas. So I'm feeling optimistic about these groups coming together rather than operating in a siloed situation. So this is the second meeting we have. I hope to see more of these. We are planning to continue this process. And I think one of the things we need to do is, from my perspective, obviously I have the most municipalized district. I'd like to see cities be involved as well. That may be maybe the DeKalb Municipal Association and the Board of Education meet and they bring the cities together. Maybe it's a meeting of BOE, Board of Commissioners, and cities. But I think that's something I would like to see as well. We had our meeting. Then we also received a presentation from the executive director of ATL. So that was interesting. We talked some about some MARTA issues, and we set our agenda that we ended up dealing with today and voting on today. So I'll go over that agenda in a minute. Between that meeting on the 15th and today's meeting on the 22nd, Commissioner Rader and I also convened a working group. It's an ad hoc committee / working group on elections. We've had a number of commenters come down to do public comment that had questions about, issues with our last election. Some people noting some absentee ballot issue problems they had, just general ballot access questions. And so Commissioner Rader and I have put together this joint task force of, it's bipartisan, so you've got equal representation from Republicans and Democrats on it, to look at how did we do in the last election? What can we do better? What are our processes? Obviously, we're going to have new voting equipment, and how are we communicating to the voter what that new process will be? What are the resources that our elections department needs that they don't currently have? So if they have, if there's some more resources we need to give them for communications, for training, for poll workers, for just what process improvements, whatever it is, we want this task force to be. It's a positive looking group, and so they're going to be looking at finding, optimizing the way we're handling elections. So I think this is a really positive thing. I'm very pleased with the people that are participating. We had a very robust discussion on the 17th. We met on the 17th. We will be meeting on this next week, this Thursday, which will be, I guess that's the 24th. So I look forward to continued discussions there, and I'm very pleased with the direction of that particular task force. So on to our meeting today. So we set the agenda at the meeting we had on the 15th, like I noted. Let's see, it was National Senior Center Month, so we had presentations with our Senior Center folks were here. We recognized the Miller Grove High School Culinary Arts Program, which has had some spectacular achievements, so it was great to see those kids and listen to them. And it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we talked about we just had a 5K and that we raised money with, and so there was a check from that fundraiser that went to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. So it was great to see all those folks. So let's go through our agenda. Nothing is. We had a lot of perfunctory things that were, put to committee. I'm trying to think here. Not tons of interesting votes. Still some things working their way through committee right now. Nothing else is really big jumping out until we had one thing in the end that I do want to talk about. We had some technology refresh issues that we voted to approve. We are still utilizing some grant money from the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, so we still have some grant money that we had to continue to, basically vote again to make sure we're using it all. So we did that. And the most controversial thing was the approval of the contract we have with VNF Solutions for an amount not to exceed $200,000. This is a contract that we have with the former DA of DeKalb County, who also went on to be an appointee in the EPA during the Obama administration, and now is working as a consultant for a group of VNF Solutions out of Washington, D.C. So, as you know, we're under federal consent decree to fix the sewer system in DeKalb County, and she's been providing consulting services to the county related to the consent decree. This is basically a contract that the CEO and the administration wanted to see continued, and they feel like they're getting valuable consulting from this individual and this group. We, as a commission, several of us asked for work product and billing records, so I've reviewed what I've gotten, and I'm satisfied that I've gotten a response on this issue, so I do think I've seen the work product. Where I wasn't satisfied with that is that this is a contract worth continuing. I just don't see the value add for the taxpayers of DeKalb County. I think that these consulting services are not something that couldn't generally be done in-house. I don't feel like we're getting new ideas and important expertise here. So I voted against this particular expenditure, as did Kathy Gannon. We did not carry the day, so this particular contract was renewed. So we will continue to see these consultants work on the consent decree issue. But that was probably one of the more controversial things we've done. There had been a fair amount of dialogue about it. So I just wanted to let you know that I did not support that and voted against that, and those were my reasons why. So I think those were all the issues. We had a couple of land use issues, but not in District 1 that we dealt with. I think we've got some deferrals on that, and one was approved, but they're on the agenda that I generally publish in my on my newsletter, so if you want to go back and look at them, but they were in other districts. So that's what we did today, and stay tuned. Well, before I say stay tuned, if you're interested in school information, there are a number of important meetings going on, particularly around the north side of the county for redistricting of elementary schools, because new elementary schools are going to be coming online next year. So go to the school district's website or send me an email if you want the schedule, because there's a number of important meetings. If you have kids in school at all, or if you're just interested in what's going on, there will be some big changes coming your way. So certainly let me know if you have questions, if you can't look up the information yourself. But if you can, go to the school's website. And before I leave you, it was also flu shot day for the commissioner. So we got our flu shots today, and I got mine. We're entering flu season. So it's not just about yourself, but it's also about if you have vulnerable people around you, elderly or people with compromised immune systems, or young children, it's important to get a flu shot so that don't risk their exposure as well. So we got that today. So if you have any questions, you can go to the DeKalb Health Department website, and I think we'll put the website here. So go there and they'll give you more information about that flu vaccine. So with that, I will end, and I will see you next time for another edition of Nancy Jester Reports.